Hi guys, putting a fiber optic sight on the Tanfoglio Force 22L. What we're looking for is to get a real bright front sight for speed shooting, and there's not a specific sight for this pistol, or not one that I could find. So the Tanfoglio comes with just a blacked out front. This one's been painted orange, and it's got one little set screw over there. And the way that works, and I think it's the same as what the center fire Tanfoglios are, that set screw, so the set screw goes through the sight, and then there's a hole in the slide, and it goes through that hole, and then the barrel bushing has got a hole in, and it goes through that barrel bushing. So see, the set screw actually does not screw into the slide; it just goes through that hole. And the same for the barrel bushing. The set screw goes through that hole, and that set screw locates the barrel bushing so that it can't rotate and that it can't come out. So you put Loctite on there, and you screw it into the sight, and that holds it in place. I think on the center fires it works the same way. I just think the barrel bushing is more substantial on the center fires, and that you've got a little detent there that it actually screws in, and that locates it. It doesn't go through. So nowhere can I find a specific listing for a replacement sight for the Tanfoglio. So Tanfoglio does list a fiber optic sight, and the reason I didn't get that one was that I couldn't get the dimensions I wanted, the height and the width. They didn't have that available. Dawson Precision makes one, and what I like about the Dawson one is that it's longer. The Tanfoglio one is a shorter sight because it's got the set screw. That set screw is outside of the sight, where the Dawson, they got their set screw inside the sight. So the Dawson has got a longer fiber optic little tube, which helps. But what drove the decision was to get the Dawson was that they had the height and the width that are required or needed. So I'm guessing if you get the Tanfoglio one, it will work fine. It will be a straight drop in, but the Dawson then happens not to be a straight drop in, because Dawson comes with a minute little set screw. It is really small because it goes into the fiber optic channel, and if I swing it out or twist it out, you'll see that little set screw is minute by comparison to the Tanfoglio one, and that results in that if that goes in, if I put that in the way Tanfoglio mounts it, you got slop. That barrel bushing will not be tight, as well as the sight will not be tight. It will float because the hole it's supposed to locate it is bigger than what the set screw is. If I get that sight in there with that small set screw, you can see that it's not locating. There's no way for that set screw that sight to be tight. It wobbles around because it's not pressing up against anything. And it's also, the set screw is not long enough to locate the barrel bushing, so the barrel bushing remains loose. I do, however, like the Dawson sight, because also what Dawson does with their sight is the little hole at the back is countersunk, so when you put the fiber optic in, it kind of goes into the sight, and it gives the fiber optic a perimeter. And what you then don't have is, you don't have like a jagged edge. Well, that Dawson sight, that's the part number over there, and it is 180 thou high and 115 thou wide. I thought about different ways of making this work. One of them was to obviously put a bigger set screw in, which was not possible due to the size of the actual sight. I thought of various different ways. I thought maybe to thread that hole, put thread on that hole, and then put a little set screw through that hole that locates the barrel bushing, and then the set screw in the sight will then go into the, will kind of enter into the hole of the bottom set screw, and that will locate it. Now, that is an option. It remains an option if you play around with different sizes and you can get a set screw that's slightly bigger than that. However, I hate to do modifications to the gun itself. Sights and stuff's easy to replace, but once you start fooling around here, you can't undo it. So what I did was I made a little filler out of aluminium or aluminum, and it's got on that end, it's got a collar on it, and at the bottom end there, it's got a little countersunk hole. And the way that works is, so that goes into our little hole over there, like that. And what we now have is, you can see it coming through at the bottom there. That locates the barrel bushing, and then the set screw of the just got to tap it in, and then the set screw will go into that little hole I created there. That way, pushing that down, it's locating the barrel bushing, holding the sight in place, can't move out. And I suppose if it's a more substantial set screw, you can probably overpower it and force that through the slide, but it won't be possible. That set screw is just not strong enough to do that. And also, if you got that tapered edge and you want to push it through, you got to get that tapered edge to close up, and it can't because it's got the sight above it that keeps it in. So that's the way to make the Dawson work, and it works just fine. And then you end up with that. If you're interested in making a little filler like that, that's the measurements. 143 thou on the top, it's 147 high, and then the little hole is 116 thou. And then obviously I put a little hollow in there in the middle for where the set screw kind of locates the sight. Hope you guys found that interesting and that it helps somebody out there. Stay safe. We talk again. Cheers.